I've got a special video for you today. We're going to be reviewing Yarbo here, and I've got the lawnmower attachment. What I want to do is go through some of the setup process that it took me to set this up, and then I'm currently mapping out my lawn, and then we're going to put Yarbo to work and actually see it mow the grass. I want to show you this, talk to you about the differences I've seen with this and some other robotic lawnmowers, but the main thing is we want to see it work and see how well it does on my yard. I'm doing this in late March at the time of this video. My Bermuda grass is starting to green up a little bit, so let's get to work setting up Yarbo and see how it works. Yarbo comes with different attachments. This is the actual robot that drives, but then you can attach different things on the back of it. You see here, I've got the Yarbo lawnmower attachment. There's also a snow blower attachment, and there's also a leaf blower type attachment. And you can see on this one, you've got these two flip up handles here. I can flip those up, disconnect this, and if you had other attachments, you could connect those to it as well. But I've got the lawnmower attachment set up there, and I can control it all through the app and drive it manually. But what I want to do is set it up so it can autonomously mow the yard, and so that's what I'm going to demonstrate in this video. Before we do that, I want to talk about a little bit of the assembly of the Yarbo, and I will say from the minute I opened the box, I was very impressed with how everything was put together. Even from the letter that was included as soon as I'd opened it from the manufacturer congratulating me on the Yarbo, and then when it came time to assemble it, there was not only clear written instructions, which I use, but there's also video instructions, which I also use. But the thing I probably liked the most is when it came time to look for a part, as I'm following through the instructions, the parts were very clearly labeled. So let's just say that I was looking for this part right here, or this rubber cover right here. When you go into the box, the parts have clear stickers on them telling you what it is. So if it said, for instance, look at this. Let me just give you a clear example right here. This says the Halo Antenna Rover, and that sticker is on there. So when it says connect the Halo Antenna Rover, and it shows a diagram that it goes right here, I go over to the parts box, and voila, there it is with a label right there on it, so I know that I've got the right part. Happy with the instructions. Again, another example here. When it comes time to screw on this antenna, you need the antenna for the data center. It's clearly labeled with a sticker and tells you exactly where to put it. The other thing I want you to notice is this thing is not a little toy. It is quite heavy. I'm going to estimate, I didn't look at the specs, but I'm going to estimate that this part weighs about 60 pounds is what I'm going to go for. This part may be slightly less, but this is a load to pick up, and seems to be very well constructed. And you can see it's got kind of like tank-like tire tracks on it. So all that is great, but at the end of the day, we want to see it work. So let's try to get it set up. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the setup process, and then I'm going to map out the yard and we'll put it to work. Now, like a lot of robot mowers, they work off of a satellite, and they have this RTK technology. And I set this up as a temporary setup out here in the yard, and I wanted to make sure that I got plenty good signal. Now, the green light is a good thing. That means it's working. Let me just say this. On the initial setup, I set it too close to the house up here, and I got a red light, so I brought it out here. Now, they recommend installing this like on the top of your roof or in a higher elevation area on a wall where it's going to be unobstructed. But I wanted to do it as a temporary setup, so I put it out here in the yard, and it does come with ground stakes for that. It comes with screws if you want to screw it to the house or a wall. And then as far as charging goes, this is the home charging base, so it'll automatically return to this and charge itself when it gets to a certain battery level, which can be adjusted in the app. I think it's set pre-programmed at when it gets to 20%, it'll automatically return. Or it also comes with a plug-in charger if you just want to do that as well. Now, when I set it up, it comes with all the instructions. This is the data center here, and it comes with an Ethernet cable that needs to be connected to the internet. Now, I have heard some people talk about a way that you could do it through Wi-Fi only, but the way the instructions read and the way I set it up, the Ethernet cable and connected it to the router that is inside my house to connect to the internet. And then of course the mower, as well as this data center, as well as the charging, is all connected through Bluetooth in the app on my phone to be able to control things. That's a lot of talking as far as the stuff, as far as how it goes set up, but again, I was really happy with the instructions. So I found the packaging and the labeling and the instructions to be excellent on this particular robot mower. And just as a side note, I really don't enjoy putting things together. And it's not something that I'm saying you're going to put together in 10 minutes, but all I'm saying is it was clearly labeled and was not a colossal pain to put together, which I appreciate. I did at one point have to call the support phone number, and it had to do with, again, me not getting a good connection on the data center. When I moved the data center out a little bit further where it was unobstructed view, then all of a sudden I've got a green light and I was good to go. All right, enough of that. Let's set up the mapping feature on Yarbo so that I can trace out. Now, one of the things I was interested in this compared to other robot mowers that I've seen is I like the size of it. I think this one was rated up to 6 acres, and it was significantly bigger than some of the others that I have seen. Now, it's also rated up to 4 inches, but it also cut it fairly short as well, which I appreciated. It comes with also spare parts, which I also liked in the box. And you see here the Yarbo website here. I just got it pulled up on my phone. You've got the Yarbo Care is the main driving thing, and you've got the lawnmower attachment, you've got the snow blower down here, and then you got the regular blower. So let me go inside the app. So I'm inside the app and I'm connected through Bluetooth and also through GPS, and I'm in the process of, I'm in the mapping section. Now this is after you've already done all the setup and everything, you get to the mapping section. And so I'm mapping out the yard and trying to get it to mow a certain area, and then we're going to put it to work and see that. Now, like a lot of robotic mowers, this one has the ability to set up like no-go zones. Of course, I don't want it going up in the flower beds. If I had a swimming pool, I want it to be a no-go zone. If I had a, that magnolia tree sitting out there, of course, I don't want it to run into that. So we can establish no-go zones for this, but I'm just gonna map out an area that's pretty open in my yard and then watch it work, and I wanna see some of the features that are in the app. All right, so I'm still in process of tracing out the yard. I stopped that to tell you a little bit about it, and let's continue on with that. So you can see here, I'm gonna trace out this area, and I'm just doing this on my phone. Now this is not something we're gonna obviously have to do every time, but I will say if I was to move my data center, which is the thing over there, if I move that, then it's gonna erase my maps and I'm gonna have to start over. So one of the things I wanna do is I wanna take it over here to a hilly area, because I wanna see how it handles a little slope on my yard, because that'll be something I'm interested in. This thing has a huge battery on it, so the battery fits down inside there, and again, you can charge it by going up on that charging port, or you can just plug in the charger. So let's see how it does on this little slope as I drive up here. I'm just driving it manually, but when we start the auto mow, I think that'll be interesting to see how it does as well. And I think what I'm gonna do is like do a little triangle map for my yard. This is me manually driving it on the hill, but you can see doing a pretty good job. Now let me come down the hill. I'm gonna make a kind of a triangle section back over there toward where we started, and that'll be my map, and then we will start the mowing process. Almost done with the mapping part of this and tracing all this out on my phone as I'm tracing it with the mower. So maybe you can see that I've just drew this triangle pie shape here that is the outline we just drew, and that's going to be our work area. So let's continue on with the process. So some of the settings I'm looking at right now is say I can set the mowing height set to 4 inches. I'm going to go down to 1.5 inches because I want it to 1.6 inches because I want it to cut something. My grass is not very tall right now. It does give you a warning that cutting below 2.7 inches could cause some damage to the blades and stuff. So we're going to do that. And obviously this is pretty cool. You can actually set the target height of your grass, which is cool, and you can have it mow on a calendar. And this says the route pattern, so I can do parallel, spiral, checkerboard, or diamond pattern. I'm going to do a diamond just because I want to see what that looks like, to be honest with you. Advanced settings, I'm going to worry about that right now. So I've got it set, and I've created the work area in a diamond pattern. So let's see what happens when I hit create a pathway. And I'm doing this for the first time on videos here, so what you're seeing is in real time me learning how this works. All right, what it's telling me to do now is my docking station is outside the work area, so I need to include a work area that'll include the docking station where it can go back and charge itself. Okay, so now I've got it set where it can go back to the docking station. Turning mode, we can go on smart turn or zero turn. I'm just going to do smart turn. That was the default. I've got it 1.6 inches. Mowing speed, I'm going to go to fast. It's got medium, fastest. I'll go to fast instead of fastest, and we'll go with that. Congratulations, I've created a basic map, so that's good. So let's see if we can make it mow. All right, I've got it scheduled. You can map out several areas in the yard. I've just got this one area. I've got it, and I went ahead and started it on the mowing plan. We've got it set up, I believe, with the diamond cut pattern, so I'll be interested to see what that is. I think it's gonna trace the yard first, so let's see how that goes. So I changed it off of the diamond pattern. I've got parallel, and it actually maps it out on the app. So what it's doing is it's going parallel just like it's facing. So it's turning around now. It's gonna come straight back here. So it's gonna be making parallel passes just like it's going all the way to the area. All right, checking in on the progress here. I've been out here maybe 15 minutes, and it's actually cutting perfectly straight lines. Now I've got it set on the smart turn instead of the zero turn, so that's why it's not whipping around on a zero turn. It's turning more gradually. But it's hard to see on a warm season lawn versus a cool season lawn, but it is making perfectly straight passes right here and cutting at this angle that I set it at, and that's set on the parallel. Again, you can do checkerboard, you can do other patterns, which could be pretty cool on a stripe in a lawn. I thought one of the things we could talk about while we were watching the Yarbo is just kind of the place of robot and autonomous lawnmowers and how that is in the industry. Is this an industry disruptor? Just give you my thoughts. Of course, I'd love to hear from any of you in the comments. The truth is, I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the future of autonomous. I don't doubt that it'll continue to be more prevalent in the industry, and I don't doubt that there'll be somebody in the lawn care business that figures out how to use them to make money, whether it be a full-size autonomous mower or smaller robot autonomous mowers like this. So the technology is certainly improving. I can see right now, I think a lot of homeowners are probably interested in the robotic mowers, just trying to weigh the cost of this versus paying someone to do it. And of course, this doesn't do the string trimming or for you as well, so you'd have to, it's not going to edge the driveway, so there'd be some other things, but it would certainly cut down on a lot and could replace some manual mowing, whether you're mowing yourself or paying a service to do it. So there's a lot of things out there. I think with the autonomous, some of the larger ones, I think they're trying to figure out, in my experience, how to make it affordable for the lawn care provider, because they certainly don't want to put them out of business with autonomous mowers. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how it's going to end up. I just know the industry is changing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I don't really worry about it because it's not really my job to figure out how somebody will end up using things like this for business, or whether they are mostly targeted toward homeowners. That's not really something I spend a lot of time staying up at night thinking about. But I do like having something like this. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video, one, because this is not just an ordinary robot mower. I think this one is superior in a lot of ways to some of them I've seen on the market. And then I'm just interested in the technology personally. So when I get it and able to put it together and do the app and figure out how to make it work, I'm just learning as we go. And so I took it as an opportunity just to improve my own personal knowledge while getting to have a pretty cool machine as well. If I didn't say it at the beginning of the video, Yarbo did provide the mower for me in exchange for doing a video. And I've been offered quite a few robot mowers, just to be honest with you. Some of them I don't do, but this one looks superior. And after getting it, I'm glad I did, because I do think it is certainly superior to some of them that I have seen. It would be pretty cool. I live in Alabama, so I don't understand the snow blowing deal and all that, how that works. But if this thing could go out in the middle of the night and blow snow off your driveway, I would imagine that would be pretty cool. What I wanted to do now was take a look back at the app and just see reconnecting here, or it's already been connected. Okay, so it says it's been mowing for 37 minutes. Sorry for the reflection there, and it's has a remaining 1,675 square feet left to mow. It's done 38% of it. So this area here, if it's done 38%, just a little quick math, it's roughly an hour and a half to cut the area that it's cut, which is about, let's see, maybe 2,500 square feet. Took about an hour and a half. So if that helps you understanding the pace of it at all, then that's what's been my experience here. And again, you can create multiple patterns, but you see how it's got the pattern right there on my phone that I trace out, and it shows you what's been mowed and what it's going to continue to do. And my battery is at 90%. It was fully charged, so I'm at 90% after 37 minutes. So you have to do some math to figure out how long the battery lasts, but it lasts a pretty good while, 10% used in 37 minutes. Another thing I tested out was just the safety of it. So it's coming right at me. I'm going to stand here. I want to show you what it does. So if it comes to run into a person or some kind of obstacle, it's coming right at me, right at me, right at me, and then it stops. So I move out of the way. It backed up. So you see it detected me there and stopped without running over me. That's a good sign. And once I moved out of the way, now it continues on its path. We're getting close to finishing this area, but I want to see a test on this hill, so let's go check that out. You see it climbing the hill. It's trying to make its turn around to get straightened back up. That's where those tracks come in handy. So it turned itself around. The other thing that was good for me to see, the grass is not real tall, but you can see I've got this wild garlic growing in the yard, or wild onions, wild garlic. I was kind of watching to see what happened, and it mowed down a pretty big one of those. So that was good to see for me, because the grass here, it's taking a little off the top at 1.5 inches or 1.1 inch, 1.6 inches. I forget exactly what I had it set on. But it's not growing that fast. This Bermuda grows fast in the summertime. So that was good to see it knocked down. I can actually smell the onion or garlic, whatever it is, that it mowed down just then. Well, I hope this video has been helpful for you. I'm glad I got to test this out. Glad I got to see it in action. Hopefully give you some education just on robot mowers in general, but also on the Yarbo specific and some of the things that it can do. And to me, just seeing it is better than reading about it on the internet. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you hadn't done so, subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in this particular mower, I will put some links in the description so you can go check it out further. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.